So, yeah, so let me just start off. I am recording this session because as one of the challenges we have is our membership is dispersed across the globe. And there are some people who this is the middle of the night for, and they're unlikely to attend, but the program is put on for their benefit. And so we will make it available to them afterward. Josie has very kindly taught me how to prepare the video and post it. She'll have to teach me again, but we'll get it done soon. Josie, would you like to, and by the way, just so you know, we've actually had about 6 people try and sign on every hour on the last 3 hours, all different people. So we hope that eventually they'll catch up with us. Josie, would you like to start off by saying anything?
I'd just like to say welcome. Thank you for being here. And hopefully this should be quite an instructive meeting. Even if you're not here in person, we'll post this onto our website within the next day or so. So you can have a look and listen to the people talking about, the experts talking about their areas of expertise, I suppose. We should hand over to Carl.
Okay, so Josie has asked me to try and manage the meeting. I know we're all very manageable people, so I'll have a very limited role. But our order of presentation is going to be Rita will start us off talking about TB in India and that. Then Jeff Leach will talk to us about prostate cancer, and then Rami will talk to us about the medical and wellness group in District 2452. So Rita, Dr. Rita Kalra. And by the way, I want to just tell you that I have seen a lot of work and videos. Yeah, I've seen a lot of work.
Can I share
the...
sure.
Yeah. Rita is an inspirational lady.
So can I share the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
So let's see if we can do that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure.
yes.
So you can
Okay, go ahead, Rita.
Yeah. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 Hello. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Just let me. Okay. I just wanted to start the slideshow. Okay. So good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this HEWRAG session. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share our efforts for TB elimination program, because tuberculosis has become a global epidemic, and it is our commitment to eliminate TB under sustainable goals by 2030. But in India, we took this under our Prime Minister's able leadership to eliminate by 2025. So quickly going through, tuberculosis is basically a social disease rather than infection, because it is growing like an epidemic, and 10 to 15 persons can be infected by one patient. So common signs, as we know, they consist of cough for more than 2 weeks, fever, weight loss, and blood in the sputum. The risk factors are very important. Like biological risk factors, like people living with HIV are more prone to TB. People with recent tuberculosis, medical conditions such as silicosis, diabetes, kidney disease, cancer, and immunosuppressive therapy, including prolonged use of corticosteroids and anti-cancer drugs. Behavior risk includes use of tobacco, alcoholism, undernutrition, while social risk factors include people, areas with large number of TB patients and clusters, dark and moist spaces, and persons living in poor ventilated spaces with limited or no circulation. Occupational risk factors are like mining, quarry work, construction work, etc. So burden of TB estimated, this is data from 2019, but it almost remains the same. So incidence of TB in India, I'll just share. The global burden here is 27%. Mortality is 31%. Incidence of HIV TB patients in India is 9%, and mortality of these patients is 4%. While MDR TB patients are 24% in India, and children with TB are 31% of the global. So talking of Haryana, because I work for the government as well as Rotary in Haryana, there are 62,840 TB cases notified in 2022. And out of this, public sector are almost 80%, and while private sector 20%. 6 TB patients die each day, while private deaths are not known. And 4 to 5% TB patients discontinue treatment every year. So as I told you, Sustainable Development Goal has a vision of 0 TB deaths, 0 TB disease, and 0 TB suffering, and ending the global TB epidemic by less than 10 cases. So how we can achieve it is by reduction in number of TB to 90%.
Rita, sorry to interrupt.
Reduction in
Sorry
TB
to interrupt.
incidence.
So, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
your slides are not advancing, I don't think.
Okay.
No, they're not.
So just let me see. Now you cannot see this.
I only see the first slide.
So should I start share again?
No, just open it up
into
into
my
slideshow
internet
and
connection,
advance it.
Okay, let me see. So now you can see.
Not yet.
No.
Now,
No,
now put it on
first layer.
slideshow.
Okay, just let me see if you can do.
You,
Okay, putting on slideshow from beginning. Okay. So can you see
well,
commitment to NTB?
yeah,
Yes,
try
yes,
to,
No?
Try-
Rita, we can see, but the presentation is not is not changing slides.
Matching?
We need to change. We need to change slides.
So sustainable development goal, is this visible?
No, the slide
Or
isn't
we are on
past
the first slide?
the other page.
You
It's,
need
So,
to
it's
click
can I
page
share?
2.
page.
Click page 2.
I couldn't get you. I couldn't get you. What are you saying? So, Joshi, can I share the presentation with you? Maybe you can run it. There is some internet issue. Let me see if I can change. Connected. So I will try one more time. I have changed the internet connection. So now you can see
we can.
commitment to NTB.
Rita, we can see the slide fine. It's not advancing. You have to operate the
No.
slideshow.
Click
So
on
you can't see.
slide 2. Click
Are
on
they
slide
changing
2.
now?
Just click on the
No.
slides as you go down.
Okay, now can you see it now?
No, Rita, you have to tell the slides to advance.
Yeah,
So-
I'm doing it. I'm pressing it, but it is changing on my screen, but it cannot be seen
Oh.
there.
No.
No. So Rita,
Okay,
why don't you
so-
go ahead and get, the presentation has great information. why don't you go ahead and do the presentation, and you send the slides to Josie and she'll put them up on the website. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
in the interest of time.
So, okay. So as I was telling you, our Prime Minister committed and okay, just let me try one more thing. If I don't share. So now, let's say advance new. Now can you see?
There you go.
Yes.
Is it advancing now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the key services which the government is providing is free diagnosis and treatment and contact tracing, treatment support, nutritional assistance, and some preventive measures. So because pillars of National TB Elimination Program include detect, treat, prevent, and build, we have incentives also by the government providing 500 rupees to TB patients every month till their treatment is completed, and 500 rupees for the notification. And treatment support, once they complete it, they get 1,000 rupees. And if they are on intensive phase, they get up to 3,000 rupees. And informant is also given 500 rupees so that we are able to trace as many patients as possible. Under partnership with media as well as NGOs, the government is organizing talk shows, documentaries, public service messages, messages by celebrities, interviews of TB champions, incorporation of TB in famous programs, logos are being promoted. And then there are many fundraising events and news coverage to promote advocacy and awareness about TB elimination. So this is called Jan Andolan. Jan means public awareness, and we have done it with the help of all faith people joining us, then from different communities, like it could be the driver community, it could be people working in factories and informal sector. So ultimately, the key objective is the message should reach to maximum people, and we should also have a strong political administrative commitment, and community should own it, and there should be a social mobilization, intersectoral coordination for this public health program, and industry and corporate sector commitment for TB-free workplaces and generate demand for TB services. This was an app launched by Government of India, TB Arogya Sathi, which is citizen and patient app where you get all the information about TB. There is one for citizen and one is for patient. So just a quick view into the statistics. With a population of 3 crores, we have 119 tuberculosis unit, 275 centers, and 8084 dot centers, and labs 28, and nodal DBR centers 2. So seeing at this graph, you can see that although the cases are in blue, the notification is in orange. So it's in between, like 60 to 70%. Total TB patients notified. Percentage is here, 61%. HIV status, TB screening, 93%. Diabetes is 86% now. Tobacco screening, all patients on tobacco have been screened, 76%. Successful outcome of TB treatment, you can see it is about 60%. Number of deaths, it's very less, I told you. So Rotary way forward to make India TB free, we are adopting a diagnostic support strategy, which is identification of patients at risk in contact with TB patients, mobilizing these risk patients for screening tests, and ensuring compliance of patients for diagnostic tests. Curative strategy is we are supporting these patients. We have adopted these patients. We have called them Nikshay Mitras to ensure compliance of treatment, compliance of follow-up, monitoring drug use, and preventing multiple drug resistance. Rehabilitative support strategy, we are providing dietary supplementation to patients. We have adopted around 600 patients in the Tri-City region with about 25 Rotary clubs joining together. Then vocational support to the patients, because most of the time they lose their jobs when there's a stigma attached to this disease. And preventive support strategies, health education to patient, family, community, which includes interacts, rotaracts, schools, colleges, and workplaces. So these are some of the few photographs I'm sharing with you about the World TB Day, which we celebrate on 24th of March, where we involve the community as well as the community leaders, Rotarians, as well as IMA, Indian Medical Association. So this is again one photograph of another World TB Day. We are contributing to PGI Center. Then this is orphanage. We screened and conducted a TB for all these children because they never go to the hospitals. And we had a poster competition on TB. Despite in COVID, we continued with this awareness seminars online where we invited people from the Central TB Division, and even International TB Union Director was with us. These are some of the newspaper cuttings. This was a very interesting play by Pahal Foundation of Transgenders, and we did it on Zoom. They were in Faridabad and this was aired online. These are nutrition supplements. This is a batch of children, 18 children who were being given nutrition supplements, which consist of Nutri-Nuggets, peanuts, then we give protein eggs and so many other things for the entire month. Even eggs are distributed. This was the launch of Mobile Diagnostic Express, 2 of them under a global grant, which go from village to village outreach activity for screening, detection, and follow-up of TB patients. Because it has an X-ray machine and a CBNAT machine, it has screened in last 2 years more than 10,000 people in entire Haryana. And this is the TB hut, which provides comprehensive services under one roof, made by Rotary under CSR initiative. And you can see the beneficiaries sitting with us. They were indoor patients and they were given the nutrition supplements. This was human chain by school students on Madhya Marg, which is the main road on Chandigarh, to promote awareness and advocacy to join and end TB. This was a tricycle by the handicapped people. They also joined the campaign. This is schools, old age homes where we conduct tests. So because it is time, we need to end TB and unite, because in India, it is just 2025. So we are left with hardly 1 year to eliminate TB. The journey of the 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But to stop TB, we need to be unstoppable and do all our efforts unitedly as we have eliminated polio. So this is Swachh Haryana, Swasth Haryana and TB Mukt Haryana. So thank you, Rotary, for the partnership in eliminating TB.
Well, Rita, thank you very much. I think some of us do not realize that TB is still a very real and active problem in many parts of the world. And if the publications are correct, it's emerging in some places. So your information is timely and helpful. And we'll circle back at the end of the meeting if people have questions, okay? For now, I'd like to move on, in the interest of time, I'd like to move on to our next subject, and that would be Dr. Rami Sarkis from the District 2452 Medical and Wellness Group. So Rami, I know that you want to do this now, so we don't have to help you with surgery again. So please proceed.
Hello, everyone. Hello from Beirut, by the way. I don't know where are you guys located. I know that Josie is in South Africa, Carl is in California, Rita maybe in India, but for the others, maybe.
District Governor Bashar Haddad, protocol is observed. I
Yes,
wish you a wonderful.
We have a.
In my opinion, not only for
George, it's not coming from. We have a background. Maybe George Azar, please, can you mute your? Yes. Again, also hello from our friends coming from Lebanon. We have our friends from Paris, Karine. We have Lara from Lebanon, Yumna. They are all involved with our mission. Now, let me give you fast what we are doing. We recently, 3 years ago, recruited ourselves and regrouped ourselves. All of us are Rotarians from medical background in our district. The district is called 2452. It was a unique experience. We are around 110 Rotarians in 9 countries. And we started collaborating with the HEWRAG, with Josie and Carl. In the last 2 years, we did a lot of medical activities, projects, etc. It was a unique experience, but we pushed it. We wanted to push it more and more and more. And last year, we had a very, very advanced scientific meeting. It was a full-day scientific meeting on the hearing loss issue. What was unique is that I felt, and we all felt here, our big Rotarian family that were all of them were here to help. You know, we contacted the hearing the hearing RAG. We contacted professionals from the all around the world in this field, and I can share with you someday our program that included Rotarians from international, Rotarians local, all discussing and sharing about the hearing issues, the hearing problems. So, guys, we are a big Rotary family. Even if we don't know each other, we are helping each other whenever anyone is in need. So this help and this support was on the scientific level. Believe me, we have very experienced and very professional Rotarians that usually do not give their lectures and their services for free, and they are doing this only because we are Rotarians. Now, in March 3rd, 2023, this very big scientific event took place, and it was perfect. And we were concentrating on our two areas of focus: saving mother and children, and treating disease by prevention and treatment. We were communicating, so we were doing some awareness, and we were preventing by the lectures and by the sharing. We needed today to do a treatment. And since we are not a club, we are organized as a chapter. We are Rotarians in 9 countries, and we wanted to do a project. So we aligned with an existing club called the Rotary Club of Lebanon International, who is represented here by Karine, who is in Paris. And this club wanted to support and to help and to do anything for the project of the medical and wellness group. So our target was, and still is, and we are looking for support, to treat 2 patients One of them totally do not hear, he's not existing, and the other he is under she is under 5 years, and the second is an adult who lost his hearing, totally lost his hearing by the Beirut blast. You know, we had a very big explosion. I can share with you the explosion movies. You can see it. We had around 100,000 families that were affected, and we had people that lost their hearing. So if we succeed in doing this project, these two surgeries, we will be not only creating awareness and preventing, but also we will be treating as medical Rotarians from background. Now, since we had this big success, and it was not, you know, it was not a communication or a presentation. It was a full day, 7-star scientific meeting. Everybody was here, so we planned in 2024, February 2024, a mental health scientific event. It is a full day, international speakers, sponsors, everybody's here, etc. And the main presence was, and our main, let's say, gift was that our Rotary International President sent us his approval of attending with us. So our Rotary International President Gordon will be with us on February 6th for this mental health day. Now we will share with you, of course, all this. You can be with us. I invite you to come online and see. We will be bringing the biggest players in the Middle East with the mental health. We will have a concert from the blind and deaf choir. We will have testimonials, hoping to have our testimonials from these two patients who we are still looking for funds. If we manage to do the surgeries and to put the implants, we call it cochlear implants. These cochlear implants, if they are done to these two patients, we will have them sitting next to our Rotary International President and telling their story. You know, someone who doesn't hear is not existing. If you want to try it, you just close your ears for 1 minute and you will see it's a total silence, you know. So these cochlear implants that will be done by the professional team of Hospital Jaitawi in Lebanon, who is a university hospital, very, very well known by this team. They will manage to put 2 cochlear implants for these two patients. And if we manage to do it, these 2 patients will be with us, along with HEWRAG, along with you online or physical, with our Rotary International President, to give their testimonial about how Rotary is changing lives. And we are connecting this idea. We will be, of course, speaking about mental health, but we will give a small part on the hearing loss that also is affecting the mental health. So we will try to include these 2 subjects in 1 day in order to have it a full scientific, very attractive. It will be very, very, very effective day with patients, with scientific people from all over the world, etc. So my message for you is, first, to invite you, join us. Second, for you to know about us. And third, if you have any contact with anyone that can support these 2 surgeries, that are, each one is around $25,000, because the cochlear implant is around 20,000. We have everything written. Josie can share with you all the details. And we have a big support from our sponsor who reduced the cost, the hospital who reduced the cost, and the surgeons who want to do it for free. So we reach and a support for 1 year from the speech therapist, you know, because someone who doesn't hear, he needs the education. It's not only if you can bring him the sound, he needs the education to start hearing. If you want to know what is the feeling, you just Google or you can go to YouTube and search for a video of a baby or a child who doesn't hear before and after the cochlear implant. I believe me, you can have tears in your eyes. It's a big sensational moment. And we are hoping that our chapter, with the collaboration of Rotary Club Lebanon International and the HEWRAG, can bring the necessary fund. Why I am discussing with you this? Because Rotary today is not organized to fund chapters or to fund a group of Rotarians with one specialty. It's organized to bring funds to clubs through global grants, through district funds, etc. But it's a first and unique experience, and we only can and ask for funds through our friends, through our contacts in Rotary, through HEWRAG, and through you all. Any fund, any support from any amount is helpful. So I hope I gave you the summary. We will not be alone. We will be joined online by international Rotarians. We will have our Rotary International President with us. And if we manage to do these two surgeries before, it will be a big event for the Rotary family all over the world. We will prepare videos with Rotary President, with two patients that we were seeing before they cannot hear, and after they can hear. They can hear, meaning they are back to life. So I hope I did not take too much from your time, but I urge your support. Any support is helpful of any kind. And Carl and Josie can tell you more about the bank account or the way that you can help us through your clubs, through your personal contacts. And we will, if it's important for you, we can also highlight your support during the conference. Some want to do it in order to bring, let's say, more awareness to their contribution, and some don't like to do it. So we will respect whatever you will be asking us to do. Thank you, Carl. I hope I was clear, and I'm open for any question.
Yeah, well, Rami, thank you very much for that. By the way, you forgot to mention that I plan on joining you at that meeting. That'll be my first trip to Beirut, so it'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
and so
it will be a great moment, Carl, especially if we manage to treat these two people, these two patients together.
Yeah. Now,
and you're most welcome. Not only Carl, everybody is most welcome in Beirut. I will send HEWRAG all the details, all the marketing, all the communication. It's a good idea to plan a trip here. Why not? And Carl, we're looking forward for your presence.
Okay, thank you. And we know you have to go. You have some surgery to do. Whatever questions arise, I'll make sure you're aware of them. Okay.
I will be online, but I will cut out my video only.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Rami, is it gone? I have put a donations button on our HEWRAG web page. If you look under donations, there's a button there where you can actually donate.
Okay.
I tell people to go to the website and they can donate there.
Okay. Thank you. And I hope our friends here can help too.
Okay. Thanks, Rami. So
thanks.
Now I'd like to move us on to a subject that is of great interest to me. And I'll tell you what, of course, all my life, adult life, I've been interested in this subject, as all men should. But I remember that a few years ago, actually, Sheila Hurst and I were at a district conference doing a presentation, and it was about cervical cancer prevention. And the first question we got was, what about men? And so Jeff Leach, you're here today to probably share a little bit about what about men with us.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity and welcome. And it's good evening there, good evening, good morning, whatever it is. I'm not skilled at this sort of stuff, so I'll tell you that up front. I don't have a slide presentation. It's early days, but basically you'd be aware that prostate cancer is the biggest cancer and the biggest killer in Australia. That there is 10 men die every day of prostate cancer, and that's a curable cancer if it's discovered early enough. And so a simple PSA test can save lives. The Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia was founded by the Roach Club of Lane Code in 1996. And from there on, it's gone on. And the Constitution said that there must be a Rotarian on every state board of the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia to make sure Rotary is integral in how it goes and what it does. And so I was the representative in Western Australia, where I live, for the last 12 years for the Prostate Cancer Foundation Board. And the three pillars of the Prostate Cancer Foundation were: 1, to do research; 2, to support; and 3, for awareness. As far as research, since 2008, they've spent $50 million in research, and they're one of the leading research facilities on prostate in the world. As far as awareness is concerned, they are letting the team down, I think. In Australia, breast cancer gets at least, 3 times the amount of money spent that prostate cancer gets spent on it. So that's an area where they're not really doing what I believe that should be done. And the other part of that is to actually do the support. So as far as the awareness is concerned, be aware, and I've sent Josie the information. There's a thing called red socks. I'll show you that's a Rotary red sock. The idea of that is it's a horrible colour, but you wear it until you know your PSA, and it's sort of, the socks are sold for $10, which raises funds. But the most important thing is to do awareness. So I'm not directly involved with that, but Brian, who's the chairman I've been discussing this with, he's very keen to get a global exposure for, to assist in awareness and to assist in people saving lives. So that's a project which I've discussed with Brian, and we will need to find a champion somewhere else in America or around the world that wants to champion that. So we're looking to do that. The other side of it is the support, and in Western Australia, the only place in Australia at the moment, we've started a thing called PROST, and PROST is specifically for men, for muscles, and for mood. So after a prostatectomy, most men will have this incontinence and erectile dysfunction. PROST is a specifically organised not-for-profit group which does nothing more than do exercise for your pelvic floor, and it's done with exercise who are specialists in the field. The way we do it, we go to the local football club. We rent their gym very, very cheaply because it's not used when we use it. The format is that you arrive and you can go 2 days of the week, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, one morning, go 7:30, it's all different times. But basically the format is that you arrive and you spend 10 minutes warming up, having a game of soccer, playing cricket, whatever it is. You then go into the roughly 10 to 15 minutes of specific pelvic floor exercises, and then you do another 20 to 30 minutes of actual muscular exercise. So that's important from the physical treatment, but from the mental treatment, it's the fact that you're with men that are going through the same journey, they've got the same problems, and they'll talk, which men don't normally do. And after the gym session, most people go after and have a chat and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very good thing as far as the mental effects of prostate cancer and all that type of thing. So as I said, I'm very new to this. I had my own prostatectomy 12 months ago. I've just been elected chairman for the PROS group. We have 5 gymnasiums in Western Australia, and we've just put a proposition to the National Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia to expand that to every state in Australia, because it's very, very necessary. Because if you consider that 24,000 men every year in Australia will be diagnosed, and globally, that's obviously a lot more. In America, I think in Rotary itself, there's about 125,000 that will be sort of diagnosed. So it's a very important part of the actual treatment. And the actual surgery is one thing, but after the surgery is when all the problems occur, and that's when you need the maximum support. So we have, as I said, we've put a proposition to the national body to try and expand it, which it is easy to do. We've got a model. It costs roughly about $20,000 initially, but once you get enough members, and in our one that I'm the chairman of, we have 500 members. And the other good thing about that is because we organise it as a not-for-profit, the actual gymnasium session is only $12, of which $10 you can get back off your health. So it's effectively only $2 a session, which is very, very economical. So the purpose of me sort of joining HEWRAG is to seek your help in expanding, the awareness of prostate cancer. And if possible, if there are people in America who would like to know more about the prostate, it's a registered charity. We've got the trademark registered. There's a proper business plan on how to do it, where to do it, and what's required. So we put a lot of time and effort into it. And so basically the purpose of tonight was just to say hi to everybody, make you aware of the Red Sox again, tell you about prostate. And in the future, I'll be more prepared with a slideshow, which I have sent Josie. So Josie, if you want to send those links to the people online and to the rest of the HEWRAG group, that will give you a much bigger idea of what's happening. And it's just not time now to go into it all. But basically, the woman that started PROST is Dr. Joan Milios, and she pioneered exercise for prostate cancer patients 10 years ago. And she's considered a global expert in the world. And also she went to New Zealand to go to talk there. The New Zealand government have now started a PROST system over there, which is going exceptionally well. And that's totally funded by the New Zealand government. Whereas in our case, the government helps fund PCFA, but we don't get direct fund from it. So, if there's any questions, I'd be very happy to answer them. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jeff. This is a very interesting subject. I was lucky enough to grab onto a Red Sox program packet of material while I was at the convention in Melbourne, and I found it extremely interesting. And actually, I've shared it with the members of my club, and I can tell you there are a lot of guys in the club that were very interested, in particular the history of that particular project. So it was very inspiring. Thank you for sharing. Do we have any questions from the group right now? Okay, well, those are all good
Carl,
questions.
I believe
Well, I think the
it's quite
important question
a good
here,
thing.
do you know your PSA or your partner's PSA? Because most men won't do it. Women need to go do it. Otherwise you're going to die. That's what it gets down to. There's very big reasons for doing that, because if in Australia they recommend from 50, I believe in America they recommend from 40 to have a PSA. It's a very, very simple blood test, and you need to do it annually because it gradually increases from 2 to 4 over a period of 10, 20 years. But if you don't, it's gradually increase, and then all of a sudden it doubles, which is what happened to me. All of a sudden, after 10 years, it doubles. You can go and have all the ultrasounds, the MRI scans, all the bits and pieces. It's so crucial to get that message across. And if you've got a brother or another female relative, that doubles your chances. And even if you don't have a brother, you have a female relative that has breast cancer, that also increases getting prostate cancer. So it's vitally important that the message gets out. It's definitely curable. It's caught quickly enough and it doesn't metastasize. Sorry, Neil.
That's great. Sheila, you have a question.
I do. Thank you so much for that. Like Carl, I became familiar with the project in Melbourne at the convention. I'm going to propose that we seriously consider as HEWRAG taking on this as one of our areas of emphasis.
Okay.
I think it's very consistent with our whole focus on public health. As Carl said, we certainly have had questions about it, and has been pointed out, the statistics certainly indicate the severity of this condition. And I think the program is really well described and inspirational and very relevant and consistent with our whole mission and goals.
Well, thank you
Okay,
for that, Sheila. Also, you know, there's 1.4 million Rotarians, of which probably 800,000 are male. And so, you know, we're looking after our own Rotary family as well as doing good in the community. And I mean, the main thing is we're going to save lives in a simple awareness program. That's all you got to do. You've just got to make people aware that you can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Josie, you had
one in eight Rotarians will get prostate cancer, and that's the figures. So I think it's an awareness campaign that is very easy to do. You just go to your club and tell all the guys at your club to have a PSA test.
Yeah.
And
also,
from
I
age
can
40,
supply.
it's quite important that if anybody in your family has had prostate cancer, that you must get tested in your 40s. Don't wait until your 50s and 60s. Go in your 40s.
And I can supply the actual presentations that I go around to Rotary clubs. I'm what they call an ambassador, and they train people to go and talk and how to talk and, you know, tell information but don't give advice and all that sort of stuff. So I'm happy to share that whole slideshow because it's living lives. And really,
in regard to the suggestion that we take this on, do we need to wait for a general meeting, or what would be the process, do you think, Josie and Carl?
No, it's already, we've already added it to our, remember at the last board meeting, we said we would do this.
And so it's
we've already added it to the website as an area of emphasis, and there is already a page there with quite a lot of information on it.
Thank you for catching me up.
So Josie, we're now moving on towards the end of our time. So do you have some thoughts you'd like to share with us?
Not really. The website is there, and all the information is on a lot of information, a lot of new information is on the website, especially about the prostate awareness campaign. It's a very easy campaign to get involved in, and people are interested because it's their own health. So we're not talking about somebody else's health. You're actually talking about your own family's health, which is, I think, quite a good way to involve people.
So
Josie, yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, Rita has something she'd like to jump in here on.
Oh, okay.
Pal, I just wanted to mention that while we were doing this cervical cancer vaccination for prevention of cervical cancer campaign, that is Gardasil. So it is known to have a role in prevention of prostate cancer amongst boys, because one of the causative factors besides genetics is human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer. So as we are promoting vaccination for 9 to 14-year girls, we should be thinking of promoting this for boys as well. Although the incidence, if you compare 20% incidence amongst women with HPV, human papilloma virus, but prostate cancer incidence is just 1% because of human papilloma. So maybe we can consider.
Well, you're absolutely.
I think that's age dependent.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rita. Well, one thing, the reason the World Health Organization recommendation now is focused on girls is because everybody is anxiously waiting for the Indian vaccine manufacturers to up production. And I think you'll see in the 2030 recommendation that change. So Josie, you had some final thoughts.
Yes, well, thank you for coming. Please go check out the website. If anybody